conservative that's running is stupidly no friend of mine.
Wow, can you believe what just happened? Welcome back to Muslim Loose. My name's David. Today, Donald Trump has just endorsed Mark Carney. Now, you might be thinking, oh, is this good? There's a lot of creators on X that are freaking out about this. No, this is good for the conservatives because Donald Trump goes on a big rant about how he wants to annex Canada and take us over and he doesn't need our stuff. And he'd rather deal with a liberal because it's going to be easier to deal with than a conservative. This is nail in the coffin for the liberals. Their entire election campaign was hinged on this one point. All these liberals and swing voters on the fence people thought that Carney, Mr. Banker, would be the one that would be better to deal with Donald Trump. Donald Trump coming out and saying, I don't want to deal with Pierre Poilievre. Let's jump into this. So first up, I think this is fitting. We've got this here, how much GDP per capita grown in the past 10 years. We've got America here at 20.7%, Canada at 0.05%. This is similar to that other graph I showed you about 3 days ago. Despite our GDP not growing, Canada has water, Canada has critical minerals, oil and gas. We have everything here, and Donald Trump knows that. We got Melissa posting this one. It says, holy crap, Canada's business investment is plummeting. Canada's business investment heading the wrong direction. You can see here, obviously this is not good. America keeps going up, Canada keeps going down. We've got goofy stuff like this. Kirk posting this one saying Tesla removed as participant in the 2025 Vancouver International Auto Show. If I were a betting man, I would say David Eby has something to do with this because David Eby, for whatever reason, absolutely hates Elon Musk. I did a poll on my X account here. It says, if the liberals win, Donald Trump offers fast track citizenship to the USA. What would people do? Move to America, which you can see has got 85.5%. That's out of almost 2,000 people, 1,800 votes. Stay in Canada to suffer almost 8%, or move to another country, 6.6%. So really, that is all that Donald Trump has to do the greatest brain drain ever. Offer easy fast track citizenship for Canadians, and you will see all the blue collar, all the white collar workers that are sick and tired of busting our backs and getting nothing for it. The tradespeople, the pipe fitters, the plumbers, the electricians, the scientists, the engineers, the welders, the mechanics, the truckers, the loggers. Everyone will just flood to America because nobody wants to deal with another 4 years of a liberal government that is just going to completely squeeze us. Mark Carney, he already came out. He's not hiding it. He's going to put a carbon tax on all industry, even to trade with other countries. Mark Carney's an absolute disaster. And with that, it seems Carney is wanting to push us into the EU. Here's him meeting with King Charles.
Prime Minister of Canada, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty. Lovely. Congratulations. Very much. Very much. I had a disaster today, sir. My order of Canada broke. No. Yes. It fell on the tarmac. Which is true. No. Our family.
His Order of Canada pin fall on the tarmac and broke. Congratulations, Carney.
Drawing on. I'm not of that rank. Well, anyway. There's a great.
I absolutely despise the royals. Just the idea of it. Born into power, didn't earn anything, silver spoon crap. He's wheeling and dealing. Justin Trudeau was there a few weeks ago as well. They're trying to push us towards the EU. It's not going to happen. I want nothing to do with being part of the EU. That's ridiculous. So awkward. Also, they let the cameraman in first so he could get the video of Carney entering. Yeah, it's just so staged. And with that, we've got Donald Trump. Check out this. So as Mark Nixon has said here, Donald Trump would rather deal with a liberal government. It makes Canada easier to annex. Now remember, this is the entire campaign of the liberal government. They're running on the fact that Donald Trump, Orange Man bad, is scary and he's going to go against the liberals. Well, no, he wants to deal with the liberals. Donald Trump doesn't want to deal with Poilievre.
Much more. We have much more.
I don't think so.
Just so you understand, we subsidize Canada. And I like Canada. I love Canada. I love Wayne
now
Gretzky.
The Liberal guys,
I love his wife.
The Liberal Party is going to win now in the next election, most likely. And they were down and out. Isn't that going to make them more hostile to us and possibly
no, I'd rather deal with a liberal than a
for China, closer to Canada, and that would really put us in a bind.
The conservative that's running is stupidly no friend of mine. I don't know him, but he said negative things. So when he says negative things, I couldn't care less. I think it's easier to deal actually with a liberal. And maybe they're going to win, but I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me at all.
So your end game is what with them?
My end game is I don't want to have a big deficit. I don't want to see the United States of America, and you say 60 and I say 200, but it doesn't matter. I don't want us to pay 60 or $200 billion to a country that if they were a state, think of this, he would be our biggest, most beautiful, it would be great.
He's talking about annexation. and the Liberals are easier to deal with because Mark Carney's weak. Now, a lot of creators are taking this the wrong way. This is not good for the Liberals. This is terrible. He doesn't want to deal with Pierre Poilievre. He came out and said it. He's not nice to me. He's saying Pierre Poilievre is going to be too tough on me. He knows Poilievre is going to bring back business to Canada, bring back the oil industry, create pipelines, and make Canada prosperous. And the Liberals are just going to lay over and let Trump just walk right in and take anything he wants. This is absolutely nail in the coffin for the Liberals. I'd be shocked to not see the Liberals' numbers drop in the next 3 or 4 or 5 days. Now, the question is, what is Mark Carney going to do? Because they're looking at this right now and they're like, oh crap, our entire campaign hinged on this. Now Donald Trump is endorsing Carney. I even said this as a joke 2 or 3 days ago. If Trump came out and endorsed Carney, it would be the worst thing for him. I'm just shocked. I didn't expect it to happen. There's other clips here, so let's take a look at this one. This entire interview, at least this section of the interview, is all around annexation in Canada.
Here's my problem with Canada. Canada was meant to be the 51st state because we subsidize Canada by $200 billion a year. We don't need their cars. We don't need their lumber. We have a lot of lumber. We freed it up, as you know, last week. We're freeing it up so that you can actually cut down a tree without being, given the death penalty. Because what these radical environmentalists have done to our country, but we freed it up. But we don't need their lumber. We don't need their energy. We don't need anything.
This is how Donald Trump negotiates. He'll say, we don't need your lumber. We don't need your energy, when really that's exactly what they need. He's trying to cut it down and then make a deal in the middle somewhere that's better for him or for America.
Certainly don't want their automobiles. They make a lot of millions of automobiles are sent in. I'd rather have them made in Michigan. I'd rather have them made in South Carolina or any one of our.
You're tougher with Canada than you are with some
only
of
because,
our biggest adversaries.
Only because it's meant to be our 51st state. Here's my problem with Canada.
It's meant to be our 51st state. So is he using that as part of negotiation, not actually going to annex us? Is he planning to? I think it's part of his negotiation. He's not actually going to annex us, but it doesn't matter. The Liberals are going to freak out like, oh my God. So Poilievre is the one that's going to be stronger against Trump now? He just endorsed Mark Carney. This is not good for Mark Carney and the Liberals. It's the worst thing that could have happened to their campaign at the worst time. This guy posting this from the JFK files that just came out yesterday. It says CIA plans to disrupt Canadian nickel supply from the newly released JFK files. Prevent reinstitution of the Canadian supply to the USSR. Responsibility for overt action designed to deny Canadian nickel to the USSR. Thanks, guys. So just looking at other people's reactions here, he says that Canada is weaker and more vulnerable than 10 years of deep liberal damage to our economy and national security, and he wants more of the same. This is exactly it. He knows that Canada will be so much weaker that whether he goes through with annexation of Canada or not, negotiating at a point of weakness gives them a better deal. I think Donald Trump here is playing 4D chess. He knew what he said. He was very clear with what he said to tank the Liberals in the election here. Here he is talking some more on dairy.
I deal with every country, indirectly or directly. One of the nastiest countries to deal with is Canada. The people that, now this was Trudeau, the people that good old Justin, I call him Governor Trudeau, his people were nasty and they weren't telling the truth. They never told the truth. You know that, they'd say, well, we don't charge. Well, they do. They charge tremendous. They charge tremendous. And if you look at dairy products, what they've done to our farmers, I'd go up to Iowa, I'd go up to different places, Nebraska, and they would always complain about Canada, how they get ripped off. Do you know that Canada has a 250% tariff? 250, nobody knows that. They charge us numbers that are crazy.
So he basically just came out and called the Liberals liars and weak. And that's why he's endorsing Mark Carney, because he doesn't want a strong government to push back against him. In the comments, people are talking about now Mark Carney is MAGA. On the topic of dairy, we've got this one from Global News. This is very interesting. So New Zealand had a supply management system like Canada, but they got rid of it. And now they're doing way better with their dairy industry.
That agreement brought up, and so did USMCA's the dairy industry. New Zealand used to have a system that was somewhat similar to Canada in terms of supply management, quotas. You got rid of that system.
We did.
And this is a sacred cow, so to speak, in Canada. What has the experience been for New Zealanders dealing with the dairy industry without those kinds of supports?
Our industry has become more efficient and larger. So rather than being adverse to their interests, it's turned out the opposite way. There were fears, of course, at the time, but it's worked out very well.
So why do you think it is that some countries like Canada are so protectionist with it? They're so afraid to open that up?
Well, I'm not here to opine as to why Canada acts as it does in respect of its industries. These are obviously sensitivities for the Canadian government, and you probably should ask them.
It's because people get rich. Certain individuals in high positions there get rich off of it. That's why they don't want to let go of that dairy cartel here in Canada. As this one here says, a relic from the Pierre Elliott Trudeau era, the so-called supply management system of Canada is a pure form of commie corruption. And it shows here this Southern Ontario farmer here has to dump 30,000 liters of milk because he's gone over quota when people are starving in Canada. 1 in 4 people are skipping meals.
We're here at Hugon's Farm in Southern Ontario. We milk about 260 cows. Right now during the winter months, you milk quite a bit more milk because the feed is very consistent. And if you do a good job, you will produce quite a bit of milk. So, but right now we're over our quota. It's regulated by the government and by the DFO. But the problem is what they don't understand is millions of people look at this milk running away. If it's the end of the month, so I have to dump 30,000 liters of milk. It breaks my heart. I will show you. By the way, this here, Canadian milk, it's $7 a liter. When I go for my haircut, people say, wow, $7, Jerry, for a little bit of milk. I say, well, you have to go higher up because we have no say anymore as a dairy farmer on our own farm because they make us dump it.
This whole system is preposterous and stupid. What's also preposterous and stupid is the whole CO2 battle. In this clip, we've got Will Happer, the professor of physics at Princeton University, talking about carbon taxes.
Does the world need carbon taxes?
No, of course the world doesn't need a carbon tax. They're talking about a CO2 tax, and CO2 is actually good for the world, so people ought to be encouraged to make more of it.
So why do you think they're pushing this idea of a CO2 tax then if CO2 is good for the world?
Well, it's a combination of people who've been misinformed badly, people who need to feel virtuous. They don't believe in anything anymore, so now they've got something to believe in to save the planet. And then it's the opportunists who are making a good living out of frightening everybody and sucking money out of the common man, you know, to push idiotic energy solutions on them that make everyone poorer and provide less reliable energy, less affordable energy. So there's nothing good about it. It's the same evil fanaticism that's plagued mankind since we began.
And suppose the advocates of climate change hysteria and carbon dioxide taxes, suppose they get their way. How would the world look different in 5 or 10 years than it does today?
Well, I mean, it will be like other totalitarian systems run amok. You know, I hope it won't be as bad as Cambodia, but it could be. But it could easily be like the Soviet Union. You know, you could have 40 years of misery before the whole system finally collapses.
I mean, we've already had 10 years of misery, and we are turning into a commie country at this point. If Carney stays in, it's just going to get worse and worse. We will turn into the Soviet Union.
So we'll see. Let's hope that there are enough people of common sense in the world. This is a special task for the developed countries because that's where the problem is the worst. And let's hope that they've got the good sense to throw out the rascals before they do too much damage.
Well said. We need to throw out the rascals. You see the first reply here. 41 billion of World Bank's climate change fund has gone missing. I've covered this story a while ago. Yep, it just disappeared. Where'd it go? Nobody knows. You got to check out this one here. We got Cars with Sonduran posting a guy, which you can see here, goes and tries to take every single one of these cars until he can get one. This is in the GTA.
This is madness what's happening in Toronto, Canada. Look at this. This criminal went out to the streets here. You can see him here. He's armed with a weapon. He's trying to steal these cars. Look at this. There's a lineup of cars. One of my followers was recording this from his balcony. He sent me this video. This is crazy. Watch what this car does. Now look at him. He's going to take action. He's going to try to steal the vehicle from behind. This is crazy. Look at this poor guy who just gets ripped out of his vehicle, and now there's criminals driving away with this car. Toronto is turning to real life Grand Theft Auto. This is madness. What's happening?
Come on, guys. Everyone should just floor it. Gas pedal. The guy with a pew-pew, gas pedal. All the way down. Save your own life. You can't care about that guy's safety. Floor it. This is ridiculous. A person backs up, damages that car, and then takes off and screws over the other guy. It's going to get worse under Carney. He's a woke idiot. That's why I'm voting conservative. Exactly. This crime is out of control. This is all because of the liberals. This will get worse under Mark Carney. I don't know why there's so many liberals who are totally fine with break-and-enters and home invasions. It's absolutely insane. Check out this one here. So Pleb posted this. It says Canada now has rage rooms where you can pay money to smash things, including pictures of Donald Trump and Elon Musk. This is disgusting.
Some might call it a smashing good time. A nationwide surge in frustration over Trump's tariffs on Canada has sparked a new idea at a rage room in Halifax.
What you see here is a drop in a bucket.
Owner Terry LeBlanc is giving customers a free frame photo of U.S. President Donald Trump to smash.
Normally, I don't really get political. However, I feel with everything going on in the world and what's happening these days, I feel like this is needed.
The Rage Room provides a safe space to blow off steam by breaking electronic and household items.
We're entertainment first, and if you get a little stress relief out of it while you're here,
This is ridiculous. This is absolutely crazy that they're giving away these photos. They're not going to offer up Trudeau or his cabinet. Mark Carney, look around Canada. There's a lot of frustration towards our current government. I'd rather a room full of WF Trudeau, WF Carney. According to liberal logic, they're essentially filming themselves committing H-word crimes. That is true. Embarrassed to be Canadian right now. So there we have it. Mark Carney getting an endorsement from Donald Trump. This is the worst thing that could have happened to him. He doesn't want to be tied to Donald Trump. They can't use that Maple MAGA stuff anymore. None of that stuff will work anymore because Trump has aligned himself with Mark Carney. This is some serious 4D chess going on here. I think Trump knows what he's doing and it's just a smart play. Get your popcorn ready. We're going to be watching the Liberals' numbers in the polls the next few days here. Are they about to dive off a cliff?